Hey folks, we're back.
Yep.
So,
Welcome to another Level Up Yours.
yes, welcome to something of an update, Level Up Yours, about life events and things related to the channel and recent things that we've taken interest in.
Yep, but also The Witcher. Witcher, we're
Yes,
going to do that first because, you come here for sporadically posted content.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much YouTube in general, unless you're Game Grumps.
Or, any YouTuber that actually has a schedule for their postings, like, if they have a show. We
Yeah,
don't. That's something we got to work on.
yeah. Being a college student is not fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
So we're working on
Jordan
our
just
enrollment.
saw the Witcher trailer for the Netflix series.
Yep, I just watched that 5 seconds ago, and I will say I have some mixed feelings, but hey, at least I can kind of understand why they changed the medallion design now. That was something that was irking me since like the first cast shoots. It really bothered me that his wolf pendant wasn't the one we see in the games or on the books.
It
Um,
bothered me so much after you pointed that out.
yeah, that really caught me off guard. But now that I see that they literally used the pendant to create their own logo for the show, I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little more forgivable in that you're literally using it as something you can put on a poster. And let's face it, the normal wolf pendant is kind of intimidating. So I'm like, this has a more generic TV show feeling
Yeah,
design, and I'm like, okay, just because it's a show, I get why, since they're using it as part of the marketing,
yeah,
they do it.
probably
But
advertising it that granted it's based off of the books, but they're making it their own product as opposed to just basing it off of the books one to one.
exactly, and that's what I really noticed watching that going in. I was like, okay, this does not actually feel like the game I was just playing a week ago. Um, it has its own feel. Like, I'm just gonna say the ending. If y'all haven't seen this, go watch it. But I'm about to reveal a spoiler. Geralt gets black eyes, and it reminds me of like Jack 3. I'm like, what the hell is going on with that?
That is supposed to represent how Geralt takes a ton of elixirs before fighting really, really hard monsters. He's basically
Ah,
roided up on elixirs.
okay. I was just like, what kind of spell is he trying to cast?
Well, I mean, that's a
Like,
mechanic in the games. Like in Witcher 3,
oh,
he has a toxicity meter where if you drink certain potions that either heal you or boost your attack, you. I don't know what the effect is specifically, but it does
mm,
affect Geralt, and it even affects him physically because you'll see in game, like, his skin gets paler, veins start to form around his cheeks.
oh, okay.
He suffers side effects from the amount of potions that he ends up taking into his body.
Oh, okay. Like Witcher 1, yeah, there's brewing potions and stuff, and they have effects on you. You saw that in the gameplay. But yeah, no, like at the point I'm at, like boosting yourself with a bunch of elixirs before a battle really isn't a major thing. You just go in there, pick your stance, and go for it. The only real elixir you need is a potion of healing.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the thing. Like he's played the other Witchers and he's read the books or he's at least started reading them. Me, I've only played Witcher 1 and like I haven't even beat it yet.
Well,
So
granted, I've only played Witcher 3. I'm just very familiar with the mythos after playing the third game, and I am up to Tower of Swallows in terms of books so
okay.
far.
So yeah, if any of y'all are familiar with Witcher, Will is your guy. Me, I'm kind of like a passive fan. I don't know a lot about it, but I've seen some gameplay from 3 and 2, and it looks like a fun series, but I usually am busy with other things. I haven't really gotten deep into it.
Yeah, fair enough. And
Still, I totally want to go to Witcher Camp. That sounds like a lot of fun.
oh yeah, the Witcher LARPing school in Poland. That sounds like so much fun.
I know.
You get to
Ah,
do drills and kill monsters and cast spells and play characters.
I'm down. I'm down. This just sounds like a great weekend. Um, but yeah, no, I liked seeing just the fact they gave everyone that seems to be a main character a little bit of time on screen. Like, I'm not familiar with everyone. I know our redheaded witch was supposedly there. I think she's the one who got the purple eyes in the commercial.
The one
But
that I'm still the most iffy on in terms of casting, purely by appearances, she could end up knocking the performance out of the park, but I'm still very off put from how she looks as the character, is the actress playing as Yennefer.
okay, that's the little girl, right?
No, that's Siri. Actually,
Oh,
Siri's actresses cast, I believe, pretty nicely. Clap to them,
good.
they did a good job.
Okay. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not very familiar, but overall, like, it looks like something I'm gonna watch. I have a Netflix subscription. I'm definitely giving it a shot. Probably something that's going to be turned on while I'm painting some miniatures. Like, I knew nothing about the elves. I just knew, hey, Witchers had spells. So I think this will be cool. Like, it sounds pretty fun. There's genocide against a race. That's always a nice way to start a fantasy.
Yeah, and they end up forming their own militia with dwarves, elves, and other non-human races, and they're called the Scoia'tael.
See, I didn't know about this, but I'm loving it. So
And like
that actually sounds fun.
their kind of insignia is that they have squirrel tails on their person.
Hmm. Like, chop a squirrel tail off a squirrel and hang it off your belt, or just the insignia of a squirrel tail?
It's an actual squirrel tail.
Holy shit, that's metal.
Yeah, and I know this
That's
because I
awesome.
just did a quest in Witcher 3 where a band of Scoia'tael ambushed a merchant caravan and killed all of the people on there.
Badass. Okay, I'm down. Like, Witcher hype is probably deserved, and I'm excited to actually see the show. Maybe that'll fill me in a bit about the books, and who knows? When I have the time to actually sit down and play the whole series, I'm going to. But with how much one glitches out right now,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact I'm a stickler for playing things in order, that's unthinkable.
That explains it.
Like, I can't fathom jumping to two or three, even though I know they're much more stable. Like, I just got to beat one, and it's going to take me like 100 hours. So I'm like, okay, I got to record Metro, Blood Bowl, Tekken, just something to put in the background of our videos right now. I don't have the time to just sit down and enjoy Witcher in all of its glitchy glory.
You're in for something.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying about Yennefer's actress, the thing that turns me off the most about her is that Yennefer, from the appearances in the game of
Mhm.
Witcher 3, along with her depictions in the book, has her be sort of like this mature, aged sorceress with a really sharp mind,
Okay.
and essentially drags Geralt along on a leash.
Hmm. So we're looking at kind of an Inuyasha trope here.
Something like that, only less meandering.
Hmm.
Like she cares for Geralt and vice versa, but she's a tease. She toys around with him a bit.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
for God's sakes, it's the thing in the one of the things that you can do in The Witcher 3 is that you have a sex scene with Yennefer and Geralt on top of a stuffed unicorn.
What?
I am not making
What
that up.
the fuck? Sorry, I shouldn't cuss, but I feel that one deserves an F bomb. What?
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, I appreciate their level of detail with that.
Yep.
Um,
And
yeah.
I'm confident everybody can agree with me on this. If you're a fan of the Witcher series, how much of a better fit would the actress as what was her name from Game of Thrones? Cersei Lannister, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, she would fit Yennefer like a glove.
Hmm.
Like
Well, considering HBO's getting its own streaming service right now, I'm pretty sure anyone on Game of Thrones probably has a retainer contract.
that's true, and they also got
Especially
Game of
since they're
Thrones
talking
people
about doing
for
prequels.
the Witcher series already.
Hmm.
So it's not like they're not capable of getting them. It's just the actress they chose just had to really not look the part.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I don't know. I'm personally a bit excited for it, but that's just as an outsider and seeing how much people are hyping it up, I'm excited. I will watch it. Just like now, there might be a 40K TV show coming out. I don't know if it's going to be on any of the streaming services or if they've revealed that yet, but they've already revealed the producer, and I'm just hyped. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, 40K! We're going to get that on freaking video. That's going to be cool.
And Lord knows I'm hyped for Vinland Saga as well because the first 3 episodes have premiered over Amazon
Yeah.
Prime.
I've yet to watch them.
They're so
I've been catching up
good.
on the tick.
I will admit that they're a bit of a slow burn, but it's a very nice slow burn.
Yeah. So if you're into streaming TV, there is plenty to watch right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
as for people who make shows that we enjoy watching, Will here went to RTX recently.
I did. I went to RTX this past month, and my God, I had such a good time.
Well,
Like,
tell us about it.
well, for one, I met the head writer slash director of Ruby, just
That's
randomly
badass.
walking around.
That's
I was
badass.
I was on my way back from the convention center to drop some stuff I bought off at the con in the hotel room, and I'm at the walkway, and as I exit, getting into the hotel, I look over to my right, and Kerry Shawcross is his name, and he's just sitting there on his phone, and I was like, this can't possibly happen right now.
But it is.
This should not. Did my luck in Pokemon somehow relate to this?
For anyone who doesn't know that, this guy catches shinies out the wazoo.
Yeah, I have an insane amount of shiny Pokemon.
Yeah, like seriously, give him your game. You will have like 10 shinies by the end of an hour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so a little bit of his Pokemon luck rubbed off.
Yeah, and I ended up meeting him, and I think it was later the same day I ran into one of the founding fathers of Rooster Teeth,
Oh, who?
Bernie Burns,
Oh, cool.
along with his
What do you work
wife Ashley.
Wow, I feel
Yeah.
old. People who
Yeah.
made stuff I enjoyed as a kid are getting married.
Yeah, well, he's been
Oh shit.
technically they were engaged for the longest time and only recently finally tied the knot.
Mm.
But yeah, I got to meet them. They were really nice. Turns out they were staying on the same floor in the same hotel as me, which
Oh,
yeah, so it seemed a bunch of Rooster Teeth people stayed in the same hotel as me, which really, really freaked me out.
why?
I don't know. It's just
I-
really
I-
weird to be in
I
that
can
close of a
understand,
proximity.
like, I can understand being excited, like, holy god, there's a bunch of celebrities around me, but freaking out, like, oh god! I don't know about that.
Dude, I don't know how to describe this. Imagine if Jason Momoa was staying in the same hotel as you. How would you react?
You're right, I would probably grab some oil, say, rub this on your chest, someone get a camera. Like, you're right, I would definitely be posing under Jason Momoa, like, oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Uh,
Just for the social media, if anything else, but that would be pretty cool. I hear he's a real chill guy.
yeah, you get the idea. Like,
Yeah,
I
okay, I
was just
get it
freaking
now.
out
You're
so
right.
much, and it was a lot of Rooster Teeth people because I think it was on Saturday or something. I once more was dropping off stuff I bought. One of which was the really kick-ass controller I bought from Controller Chaos.
I saw it looks like an Arizona tea can. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful. And on my way to drop it off, I passed by a Guardian, RTX's versions of security, and
I like
uh, as I passed by, I'm like, oh, excuse me, and I look behind me, and I'm curious as to which Rooster Teeth person is gonna walk out of their room, and Gavin Free walks out
that.
from Slow-Mo Guys, and just Achievement Hunter, and he's like one of the faces of Rooster Teeth, and I freak out for a second, and I cover my mouth just to not, scare anybody or weird him out or anything. And then Gavin turns, sees me, and then widens his eyes up and leans back. And then they have to go off to maybe get Gavin to a panel. But I was just like trying to take some deep breaths, like, okay, you ran into Bernie. And now you saw Gavin. Whoa.
Nice.
It's
So
it's insane.
you met a lot of interesting or important people.
Yes, I certainly have. I actually met the developers of a game called TackMind, which is like a first-person MOBA game.
Yeah, they were demoing some indie games, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Was
And
TechMind one of them?
uh, TechMind, it's a PC thing. It's still in early access. They only had like 3 characters available to play as at the demo, but
Hmm.
it seems like it's got potential,
Cool. I like FPS, and MOBAs are picking up, so we might play it a little bit when it comes out.
and it's free to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that. I mean,
And on top of
that's
that,
one of
they
the best
did
things
give me
about
a free
PC.
T-shirt.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, always good on the free clothes.
Always good on free clothes, man. Like I am a sucker for free merch. I have a
Yeah,
lot of Coca-Cola products that I wear
I do
because I
have.
have bottle
Before we
caps.
move on to any other subjects, I do have 2 funny, well, one dumb but one funny story from RTX.
Tell it.
So the dumb story is before RTX starts, they always have this thing called Achievement Hunter Live, where Achievement Hunter plays games on a stage live in front of a bunch of fans, just to kick off the convention on a good start.
Hmm.
One fan who thought they could get in on one of Achievement Hunter's little inside jokes throws a really dense bouncy ball that's called a moon ball, throws it
Oh, I
from.
have one of those.
Yeah, so if you don't know what a moon ball is, it's a really dense
That's
bouncy
great.
ball.
Yeah. No, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, so the person throws it from really far back, lops it all the way across, and knocks a beer out of Gavin's hand, just pinpoint accurately.
Dude, that's awesome.
I mean,
Like, congrats to whoever threw that. Like, good job.
I wouldn't say congrats.
Dude, I'm congratulating them. Like, dude, I'd give them a handshake, a pat on the back, and then point them towards the ass.
Well, Gavin's girlfriend was pretty pissed. I mean, that could have hurt somebody if they lopped it that hard.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But even then, Schadenfreude, I'm going to laugh at their misery.
Yeah, but then the person was like gloating about it on social media, but then immediately tried to backpedal on all of it when they were brought to their consequences.
Oh, there were consequences.
Yeah, I mean, that person pretty much got completely socially wrecked.
Mm.
And I don't know if they got their badge revoked or anything, but I know some kind of consequence had to happen because you can't just throw a moonball at the talent and expect nothing to happen.
I mean, you're right, but also, if I was ever on stage and someone chunked a freaking moonball in my general direction, I would probably just be like, "Oh God, who is that? This sounds great. Like, who am I throwing it back to?" Then again, I probably wouldn't have to because it bounced back to him or something. But
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Like, I'd probably just enjoy it
Or there probably
unless it
wouldn't be
conked me
anybody
in the
to
face,
throw.
and I'd be like, "Okay, who wants to fight?"
Or maybe there
Let's
wouldn't
do
be
this.
anybody to throw it back to because security would have probably dragged them out by the collar of their shirt.
True. Then me with like 3 knocked out teeth and a hockey motif storming out the door after security, like, "Hey, give him to me. We ain't done yet."
Yeah, so
Uh,
that was the how the convention started off. How it ended was pretty hilarious. So I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of the branches that Rooster Teeth has gotten with a lot of different channels joining them.
I really don't know. Like, I know Rooster Teeth from when they weren't Rooster Teeth. When Machinima was its own channel on YouTube, Rooster Teeth was a small little studio, and they started making Red versus Blue, and that's it. Like, then Ruby happened a few years later. I started watching it again on YouTube, and then I got back into Reds versus Blue after all those years trying to catch up. And for the most part, like, I knew Machinima far more than I knew Rooster Teeth.
All right. Well,
So
to
yeah,
give you
I
proper
don't know a lot about
context,
them.
one of the new additions to Rooster Teeth is this gaming channel called Funhouse.
Okay,
And a bunch of the Funhouse guys, as it turns out, were also staying in the same hotel as me. And on the last day
fun.
of RTX, as we pretty much predicted, me and the people that I was staying with, we were like, okay, we're gonna see Rooster Teeth people around the pool and around the hot tub because it's the last day. They want to decompress from meeting fans for a whole weekend and running around to different panels. And we were correct. But what we didn't anticipate was that they were trying to convince the hotel to keep the hot tub open until like something like 2 in the morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it closes at 10 normally.
Like I could see maybe pushing it to midnight, but like 2 in the morning, y'all getting a little dicey.
Yeah, and the hotel's manager had to come out and tell them, like, listen, you guys need to go. It's past 10. And they started asking around to the different patrons that were staying at the hotel, like, hey, you got 70 grand that you can drop so that we can stay here longer?
Nice.
So that was really, really funny.
Yeah.
So overall, RTX, total fun. I would 100% go again if I can afford it.
Nice. And I know other channels have probably talked about it, but I know you went to the Ruby panel. You haven't told me any of the stories about it yet. What they show off.
I have a short list of some major things they talked about.
Okay, let's put them out here.
All right. The very first thing that I want to tell you is that they showed us a work in progress trailer of the first episode of Volume 7.
Sweet.
And the reason why I say work in progress trailer is because they decided not to have a character trailer like they did last year, just so that they can focus on the volume.
Probably wise.
Yes. And my god, the work in progress trailer actually looked really awesome.
Tell us about it.
Let's see. So it had the gang literally fresh off their arrival into Atlas from Volume 6.
Okay.
And they're just. They're about to get into an enemy encounter situation, and a new Grim pops up that's based off of saber-toothed tigers.
Fun. Fun.
So they start fighting them, and the combinations that you see from these characters doing cool stuff, like Weiss lifting up Sabretooth Grim, and then Ren chopping them all in half while they're suspended. Just interesting stuff, you know? Cool things. Cool things being shown. And the next announcement that I know for a fact will certainly put a lot of critics' minds to ease, they have 2 new writers.
Ooh.
Miles and Carrie said, like, yeah, we can't keep you to just us anymore, so we have 2 new writers on the writing department for Ruby.
I'm always happy to hear about more talent. It's just I hope they keep the focus, because that's been kind of an issue with the series. So
It
maybe
seems like they are.
Maybe it'll
I
help.
mean,
Who knows?
the fact that they have 2 new writers is insane now. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just Miles and Carrie anymore.
Yeah. No, that actually is probably for the best. But anytime you bring in new talent, it can always warp a vision. So I'm like, we'll see. But more people helping push out more content's always a good thing.
It is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
And let's see. Another bit of news was the fact that the girls are getting new outfits.
About time. They usually do.
Yeah. And I will send you what the outfits are after we finish here.
Okay.
Because they certainly do require a bit more of a depth analysis.
Oh. You
I
want me
don't
to
know.
talk armor, eh?
Well, I mean, Weiss technically does have a lot more. In fact, of the characters, Blake and Weiss have the most change in terms of their outfits.
I mean, makes sense.
Like,
Weiss
Weiss straight up
snaps
rocks like a big braid, and Blake gets a haircut.
I mean, knowing her girlfriend, it's about time one of them cut a little hair.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, just hearing that it was new outfits, it's like, oh my god, yay, they're changing things a bit more.
Yeah. Okay. So, anything else you want to bring up from Rooster Teeth?
Uh, one other thing about Ruby. Volume 7 so far is projected to come out in November on the 2nd, but they did say that they're willing to delay it further if, complications end up arising. Like, if their production staff needs more time to be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's good to hear them say, like, yeah, we might need to do some delaying on the part of our production team if stuff doesn't work out for some reason, like if the whole animation department loses power like it did during Volume 5. And let's see. I remember one other announcement that was made. Jordan, are you familiar with Shark Week?
You mean on Discovery Channel?
Yes.
Yes.
Rooster Teeth is teaming up with Discovery Channel to do a immersion episode on their Shark Week. They're going to be on legit TV.
I'm kind of trying to process this. What?
Yeah.
Okay. This could be interesting.
Yeah.
I have not watched Shark Week in years, but I might tune in for that.
So, let's see. I think that's all the real major stuff. Anything else that happened was just things on the more grounded level. Like when I got to take a picture with Castle Super Beast as dressed up as Nero. I was so happy to meet Pat and Wooly dressed up as Nero. And I posted it on Twitter, and they retweeted, and a bunch of their fans retweeted, and I was so happy.
Well, that's good. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about today? I know we wanted to bring up RTX and The Witcher. If you want to talk any of our channel ideas, just to get them out here on the podcast, or
I thought about maybe doing some more streams. One of which, like, this has been a thing that I've wanted to do for a while. Can we please, for the love of God, do something with Resident Evil 4?
Sure.
Because, summer's coming to a close and we need to get some content out before both of us have to go back to school.
Yeah, no, I'm working on just playing through Metro right now, and I'm trying to get some other little things. I want to try and finish East if possible.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, no, I'm cool with some RE4.
Yeah, because I've never played it, so I figured if I bought the game...
I've seen plenty of my friends play it, so looks pretty fun.
Yeah, a first impressions, because the only Resident Evil I've played up till now is the 2 remake on PS4.
I've only played Code Veronica on the Dreamcast, the RE1 remake on the GameCube, and RE5 and 6 on 360. So, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Like, tell us what you think. Would you like to see a first impressions video based on that? Because I think it could be fun.
Yeah, for the people who actually stick around to the end of the videos, like, I've been looking at the metadata. I know there's one or two of you. Yeah, if you hear this, please, on YouTube, go ahead and make a comment. Or if you're listening to us on SoundCloud, I don't know, you found our podcast, you could go ahead and just, message us or something. I'm not on SoundCloud as much as I should be. But, for anyone also curious about the podcast, if you wanted to listen to us on your phone, there's that. You could just download the MP3 and listen to us wherever the hell you want.
Okay, one other encounter I forgot to mention to RTX. I ran into Weiss's voice actress.
Woo!
Yeah, I just met her randomly, just like how I met the head writer and director of the show, and I was just like, hey, can I get a picture? And she was like, yeah, sure. So, yeah, I was freaking out a little bit there, too.
Nice.
So, besides that, not much else as far as I can remember, in terms of huge announcements, I mean, there probably were a lot more, but I am not recalling them very much. I mean, there's Fire Emblem Three Houses coming out this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So I know you'll probably be playing that.
I'll definitely be playing that because
Yeah.
it might end up being my RPG fix if I decide not to get Pokemon immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I might reveal it here, so go ahead and say I'm probably boycotting this Pokemon.
Really?
Yep. The more and more I hear about it, and the more I've really been talking to some of the backlash part of the community, I'm like, well, let's hit them in the pocketbook and let's see if we can't get a small boycott going on. I'm probably going to stay out of it this round.
I feel like if they just gave us a straight answer as to why they're saying what they're saying, we people wouldn't be as pissed.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time, Pokemon has grown so far beyond the games that they're at a point they can't backpedal from what they've said. They have to meet their deadline. They can't delay the game because it's tied to the anime, it's tied to toy line manufacturers and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It has to meet its release date. But they're not expanding on a lot of what they said. There's a lot probably hanging on Sword and Shield coming out when it does. But with as many concerns from the community and the fact that community is becoming far more involved in the development process, and with how open Nintendo otherwise has been, I feel like, okay, well, Game Freak, if y'all are gonna really be a part, like, first party developer for Nintendo, you need to maybe respond like Nintendo. Then again, look at Nintendo Online, and they don't listen to us there either. So I feel like maybe us not paying into it and not renewing our online subscriptions, not buying Sword and Shield, maybe that'll open them up to listening to some fan concerns, and they'll see the backlash and be like, okay, well, a lot of other developers are doing it now. We might want to listen to the fans.
Yeah, because Lord knows I'm not going to be renewing my Nintendo Online thing. That internet is garbo and is not worth $20 a year.
I mean, to me, I almost want to defend the NES, but I'm like, when I really think about it, emulators exist for a reason. The main reason Nintendo sued Emu Paradise and all of that was because of their Nintendo Online system. And they knew that if people had emulators to play those NES games that gave them all the features and save states that the Switch does, there's really no need to pay for the Switches online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love having Ninja Gaiden on the go. I love having a large platform of online games I can play when I'm out at college because I like old games. But at the same time, some of those games are absolute garbage. Like literal just shovelware, almost garbage by today's standards. And I'm like, okay, other than the few hits on here that are worth playing and I think everyone can enjoy, most people aren't going to play some of these games. And I feel like at that point, why even put them up? Why not give us some of the golden reel from the SNES? Why don't we have Donkey Kong Country or Super Metroid? Hell, some of the updated versions of these NES games is just, oh hey, we'll pop you next to the final boss with a few items so you don't have to actually play the game. It's not giving your clientele anything at that point. You're just saying, we don't want you to cheat. Also, we don't want you to emulate these things and, boost yourself with a save state to the end. Nah, we'll just do it for you. Here you go. Fight Ridley, go down, go to Mother Brain, win the game. Play Kid Icarus, get all the power-ups, and don't go through the slog that's the beginning of the game and feel powerful by the end. No, you just have everything. Go ahead, beat the game.
I don't know,
Same
man.
thing with Ghosts and Goblins. Here's armor that lets you take 2 hits. You're in the final area of the game. I just I love the concept, but it needs more. And they don't have a virtual console, but we are getting some HD re-releases of a few games. It's not enough. For what they're asking you, $20 a month, it's less than Xbox, it's less than PlayStation. We're getting less. but at the same time, we're not really getting anything we didn't have before.
Yeah. And Lord
Like,
knows we're not really getting anything in terms of an improvement because they still don't really have dedicated servers.
and yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, if I'm paying $20 a year into your system, maybe, Smash Bros. Would get its own dedicated servers, or, you would improve Splatoon. But now, heck, the final Splatfest is going on. So it's like, okay, are y'all
Hashtag
about
team
to
order.
now? But that's what I'm saying. It's like, are we going to get a Splatoon 3 announcement? I mean, if this is it, like, are y'all just dropping support for what has been one of your best multiplayer games?
Yeah. Probably
Like,
because it's as well as one of the most successful IP in recent memory.
yeah, and that's my thing. It's one of their newest IPs. It's one of their most successful games on the last two systems. And okay, we're just going to end it with this, possibly. I mean, are we getting DLC? Are we getting an expanded storyline, add-on content, or um, are you going to make a third one? But if you're making a third one, I mean, the Switch has only been out maybe 2 years, 3 years, maybe now. It's like, oof,
Came out in
that
2017, so roughly 2 years.
yeah. I mean, a little over 2 years. I mean, we're getting near the end of 2019. We're closer than farther. So let's say 3 years, and you're like, okay, it's time for the next installment. But it was already a always online multiplayer game after you beat the short single player mode. So, like, you could have just added new content through patching. There's no reason for another game. I don't know. It's kind of odd to me.
Either way, it thankfully Splatoon. Ugh, I can't talk tonight.
That's
Thankfully,
fine.
Splatoon isn't exactly my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, it is mine. I've played it, but I guess there's a reason I haven't bought it for my own Switch. Like when I would play with Amanda's brother, or I had some friends that already had it. It was always a good pickup game, but it wasn't something that I just had to buy. I feel kind of bad for that because I'm holding out for, even though it was a pretty bad game, I want Star Fox Zero or something to be ported. You know, like
Yeah, I
I
just want a
want
virtual
these
console so
first
that way I'll be
party.
able to play a lot of the Game Boy Advance games that I loved. Like
Well, that's my
Fire
thing.
Emblem Sacred Stones, Zelda Minish Cap. I want
Mm-hmm.
those back. I
Yeah, two
want them.
years in, we don't have that, and it's been on the last two consoles. I mean, it can't be that hard to port over, and y'all are also now introducing cloud saves. So, say I bought one of the Switch Lites, I wouldn't mind having an easier way to bring those games on the go if I don't mind a smaller screen. Personally, I don't have a problem carrying around my full size Switch, but it's nice that the option would be there.
Small screen slash cheaper option.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, that could easily grow the market, or like, hey, me and Amanda, we fulfilled the dream of having 8 kids. Well, we're not going to buy all 8 kids full-sized freaking Switches. I would get probably 6 of them the Switch Lite.
What? What in the name of God just came out of your mouth?
She wants 8 kids, okay?
Tell her she's crazy.
It was originally 32.
Okay, so she's going by multiples of 8 or 4?
Yeah, I've got it
Oh,
down to 8.
pray for this man, people. Can we get some prayer hands in the chat? Or, just as acceptable, praying Patrick in a pew.
Yeah, so, you know, uh, that's what I'm saying. So, like, at least I would save $100 on like 6 of the kids. So that's $600 I wouldn't spend because they get the Switch Lite.
Fair enough. Jesus. I mean, I just know Fire Emblem Three Houses coming out. I'm looking forward to that because the game already built up some goodwill with me for not having child units. Thank God. And
Really, I feel a little off put by that, but okay.
let me explain my logic behind that. behind.
Well, I will say one thing before you say that. It would be awkward if, since you're playing as a teacher, you sleep with your students.
That's one reason. Another reason is literally after Awakening, the child units in Fates were the most pandering thing ever.
Hmm.
The support and child units thing, it's literally one of the reasons why older Fire Emblem fans are just so adamantly like cringing at this, where Fates just really twisted the idea of having an interesting dynamic with your characters just so that you can marry the freaking siblings that you had the biggest crush on.
Wow.
Like, literally, how, like, it doesn't matter if you're related by blood or not, how awkward is it that you can actually marry a sibling in Fates?
I mean, I feel like there's some people in Alabama who are really happy about that decision.
Sorry if you're from Alabama.
But you knew that joke was coming.
But but
yeah.
it's not just a matter of that they can be together. It's just that the idea for Fates was that you're having to choose between your bloodline and the people that raised you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you choose your bloodline, and in the case of going with the Hoshido Kingdom, you're like, okay, you're all my blood relative siblings. I'm gonna try and do some supports with all of you. Wait, there's an S rank with Ryoma. That should not be possible. And then they bring up some kind of contrived reason for them to be married and have kids, and I'm just like, are you serious right now?
It was true love.
No, it's called pandering. It's
Yeah.
and
No,
what makes
I
it
joke,
worse is
but
that
it is pretty when
yeah,
I hear about it. I'm just like, okay, I haven't played Fates, but yeah, that does not sound too great.
no. When they're literally bending the story's idea, an interesting idea, they're bending it just so that they can make your character the wanted desire of literally everybody that has reproductive organs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know, can you get gay babies?
Well, apparently there's going to be same-sex relationships in 3 houses.
I mean,
But
that's
then,
okay. I didn't know if somehow you could like get adoptable child units or something that aren't available to the actual like pairing off couple option.
no idea. I have no idea. But
Huh.
by far, one of my other big complaints about Fates that I'm glad 3 Houses is doing away with, thanks to the absence of child units. Like, Fates had the most contrived reason for there to be child units in the game, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Awakening had a bit of a stretch with the whole bridging future timeline thing. Separate timelines means your kids come over. That's not the best explanation, but it's better than what Fates did, where it's literally all same timeline, but the parents boot their kids over to alternate dimensions where time flows differently, so they are aged up to be fighters in your army, even though within the timeline that they're in, they ought to be toddlers.
I mean, that's screwed up.
It
But
is. It is
if
fucked
we're
up.
at war and I need more foot soldiers, and I am part of the royal line, I could decree, everyone give me your babies. I'm throwing them in this hell portal. We're going to have like 1,000 soldiers by tomorrow.
Except here's the most fucked up thing. You can romance the child units in Fates. So think about it this way. You're essentially S-ranking with somebody and having a baby with somebody who is essentially a toddler in your time.
And also your kid.
Yes.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that is absolutely horrible.
It is pretty bad.
Like, when you think about it, oh god, gameplay mechanic did not plan this out, did it?
No.
Oof.
They
Oof.
really pandered. They screwed that pooch bad.
Oh man, that actually is pretty bad.
So yeah, you can probably understand why I'm so happy that child units are not a thing in Fate. I mean, 3 Houses.
let's take a break from that.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. Mm.
I'm glad I got off my soapbox there.
Hey, like I feel that was rightfully deserved. We don't need crazy incestuous relations in our strategy games.
Yes, or
Though I
God
will say
forbid,
I am excited for Shin Megami Tensei 5, so who knows
or
what subjects they'll break in that.
or, or God forbid, a doctor will come into the Fire Emblem place and be like, "Congratulations, your baby's having a baby."
Oh god. Hey, they just
Oh.
released Dr. Mario on the phone. I would love to have a thing like that where Dr. Mario just pops up. Your baby's having a baby.
Oh God! I just made
Oh
myself
god.
gag with that joke. Oh,
Oh, that's horrifying.
that
Then
was
again,
so
there are
bad.
those girls who are pregnant in like third world countries at 9 years old, and you
Ugh.
could imagine like some screwed up parent doing that to their kid. That's actually horrible. Why am I remembering stuff like that?
Ugh.
Oh
And not to
god.
mention the whole creepy like My Castle Japanese exclusive face touching thing.
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Like they made molds of the character's face so you could go to a place and like touch them.
Well, specifically what it is, this is supposed to increase your support with your units. You go to your castle hub and
Okay.
you go into your little tree house, which is like
Hmm.
your sort of activity space, and you
Oh.
then invite units into your little home, and with your stylus for your 3DS, you touch them on their face, and that's supposed to boost their support with you.
Hmm. Yep, we're gonna get real friendly up in this treehouse, yo, and then you're gonna go murder some people for
I
me.
am I am oh so confused by all of it,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
very like I don't know
Like
what Three Houses will do
I'm
instead of that,
glad I
but I
didn't
will
play
literally
that on my
accept
three.
anything else.
Yeah, okay. I will definitely be waiting for your review of this new Fire Emblem, though. I've decided I might give Final Fantasy 15, the Pocket Edition, a try on the Switch.
I tried
Uh,
the Royal Edition on PS4. I don't know why. I just felt really bored, and then I saw Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on it. Ugh.
mhm.
Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on it, and yeah, he pretty much says all the reasons why I got bored.
Well, I know there's no side quests, but that's one of the things I'm kind
There
of
are
attracted.
side quests.
Oh, in the Royal Edition, I meant the Pocket Edition. There's no side quests.
Oh,
Pocket Edition, literally, the idea was we're going to take Final Fantasy 15, only move over the voice acted lines and the main plot, use the chibi art style, replace all assets, and literally just build the game for like $20 around the core storyline. Also,
hmm.
you can play it on your phone,
No, it doesn't sound
which
like
I
it.
wish they would advertise that one instead of the stupid Final Fantasy 15 like city builder
The
game.
fishing one as well. The VR fishing.
Yeah, or the VR fishing. Like the fact is, like, I could play all of Final Fantasy 9 on my phone. Pretty freaking cool if you think about it.
As well as on your
Uh,
Switch.
as well as on my Switch now. Thank God, I do plan to revisit Final Fantasy 9. It is my favorite. But like, okay, yeah, I can play all of that, a full game, and y'all sell that for like $20. My issue is, the newest game in the series. I get that you had to tone it down and dial it back, and change all the assets to make it run on a phone. At the same time, there are no side quests. Combat is still action RPG, but like you're playing on a phone, so you had to make some concessions.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I'm like, okay, but they put it on the Switch now, so I can play it with a controller. And I'm like, this could be cool because it's like Final Fantasy 15 Lite. In which case, don't worry about the side quests. Just play the plot, which is half the reason I'm into playing Final Fantasy. I like the main storyline. So I'm like, okay, this actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got disillusioned.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we're kind of rambling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, we aren't really. We're just doing this as an update. I mean,
Yeah, and it's an update one. We only had really two things to talk about, and we talked about those. So here's
yeah,
some extra content for y'all. I hope y'all have enjoyed.
yeah. And if you've got any ideas for games for us to try out or something, or some kind of discussion idea for another Level Up Yours podcast, please say so in the comments.
Yep. All right. Toodles.
Bye.